I'm just now getting my seat, as you can see. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Yoga Boat channel. My name is Boyce, aka the Sleepy Yogi. Give me one moment. Let me go ahead and slide this over. It's going to drive me crazy if I don't. One moment. It is a nice, chilly day out here in Jacksonville, Florida. As you can see, I am bundled up this time for real. Um, got my socks, got my leggings, got my long johns. We're gonna have a nice energetic practice, so we'll get started. Here we are, sitting nice and tall through the spine, grounding down through the sits bones. Maybe my ears are over my shoulders, so I'm not projecting forward. And on an inhale, we're gonna go ahead and float those arms up. Nice, long, slow inhale through the nose, waking up those lungs. Our hands in gratitude. As we exhale, we can bring them to our heart space. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. Thank you for taking this time for your journey, this time on the mat. We're going to have a great practice. Namaste. So we'll get started in a supine position for that quick little warm up. We'll find that by either holding the back of our thighs and slowly rocking down, maybe one vertebrae at a time. Maybe you're just finding your favorite hip and gently getting to that lying down position. Feel free to put a blanket or bolster under your legs or your neck for comfort. Maybe those palms are up, opening our chest. Maybe those shoulder blades are close together or getting closer together. We'll take just a moment just to kind of center, get our breath, so that we can feel nice and strong, nice and energetic. We'll do a long inhale through the nose when you're ready. Feeling that chest expand, feeling that belly rise. Let that belly rise. Followed by a big exhale through the mouth. Get all that air out. Maybe get all that stale air from last night. One more big breath in, long and slow, deep, opening up that belly, stretching out the rib cage. And when you're ready, open mouth, exhale, let it all out. All right, we can come back to a nice, steady 4-count breath. We'll go ahead and bring that left foot towards our body, maybe anchor that down. We'll send on an inhale, send that right leg to the sky. And with our hands maybe holding the back of that leg, we can start to flex and extend that right leg, working that knee hinge joint. Maybe we go ahead and start flexing that foot at the same time, waking up that foot and ankle as well. Taking a moment, feeling that deep stretch in the back of the leg. For me in the morning time, I feel a deep stretch at the top of my foot, the top of my big toe, as weird as that may sound. I don't know if it's just from all those years of running, but when you're ready, we can go ahead and with our leg extended, we can start making those circles or painting those fluffy clouds with the toes. Staying with those deep breaths through the nose. And when you're ready, we can reverse direction. So glad I bundled up today. It feels actually really nice. And once your ankle seems to be nice and loosened up, we can bring that right leg closer to the body. Maybe start making circles with the hip. Maybe using that right hand for guidance if you like. Circles can slowly get bigger if that's in your practice. Feel free to use your arms and left leg however you like to stabilize. Once you get to a good center position, we can change direction. This is a great time to start thinking of that intention. Here we are in the middle of the week. And once we're feeling nice and open in that right hip, we can stop that and take the right ankle, cross it over our left knee. Here we are in that supine pigeon, opening up that hip. We can either let gravity bring that right knee to the mat, or we can lift that left leg. Make sure our legs are nice and relaxed here. We're not using our muscles quite yet. We'll just use our arms to support these legs, maybe wiggling the toes, maybe rocking back and forth. This is my first practice of the day. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying Really enjoy this morning routine. And when you're ready, we can go ahead and release that leg if it's off the ground. We can unbind the legs, maybe sway them side to side. Just gently, maybe those feet heel toe their way a little bit wider of a stance. Now my feet are kind of as wide as the mat, really slowing down those sways, opening up those hips, maybe giving a nice little twist to that lower lumbar. When you're ready, we can bring those knees to center. We'll go ahead and take that right leg now, anchor that down with the palm of our foot. On an inhale, we can send the left leg to the sky, stretching it nice and tall. Start to flex and extend that left leg now so that it matches the right. Definitely want to have that even balance. Maybe we're pointing and flexing that left foot as well, working out both of these joint areas at the same time. And when you're ready, we can keep that left foot extended. We'll go ahead and start painting those circles or fluffy clouds with that left foot now. Just pointing those toes around. This is your practice, so make it your own. Feel free to uh, participate in any of these postures. When you're ready, we can reverse direction, by the way. However, feel free to come out of any ones if you're feeling any discomfort or pain. Everybody's different. Every practice is different. Some days our body feels good. Some days it's a little more difficult. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and start making circles with that left hip. But just make this practice your own. Feel good. You can start making bigger circles if you like. Staying with that nice long breath through the nose, inhales and exhales. If you lose that, that's okay. We can get back to it when you're ready. If you're at center, we can switch direction. We have some modification and variation videos on our channel as well, so feel free to pause this. Take a look at those if you like, if this is new, if yoga is a new practice for you. But here we are now. We can go ahead and take our left ankle and place it over our right knee. We'll go ahead and let that left knee start to sink down to the mat for that stretch, that hip. If you like, you can pick up that right leg, hold it with your arms. Make sure you're not tense in the shoulders. Make sure there's no pressure in your neck or your head. Make this practice your own. Listen to your body. If you're feeling any pain or discomfort, come out of all of those postures. What we want is we want the ease of comfort. So we want close to where comfort meets discomfort, but we certainly don't want to enter the area or realm of pain. That's the body saying, let's not do that. Let's back off. All right, when you're ready, we can go ahead and release that leg if it's off the ground. Unbind those legs. Maybe sway them once again, side to side. When you're ready, we can bring those knees in, maybe giving ourselves a nice hug. Maybe lifting that tailbone off the mat. And when you're ready, you can slowly take your time, 3 or 4 rocks, rock yourself up into a seated position. I'm going to find my favorite hip, roll over, lift up with the top hand, pushing down. Here I am in an easy seat. Feel free to find that easy seat however is best for your legs, whether they're extended out, up in front of you, however, crisscross lotus. Once we're here, we're just going to be grounding through those sits bones. We're going to be sitting nice and tall through the spine, stacking bones. The more stacked our bones are, the easier it is on our soft tissue and our bones. So it's always a good thing to kind of be standing nice and tall. So here we are, shoulders are looped up, back, and down. We're going to drop those blades down the back. And on an inhale, we can take those arms, float them up overhead, inhaling big, expanding the chest. And maybe on the exhale, we can lower that right hand down to the mat, nice and slow, reaching across the top of our body, starting to open up that left side, that left rib cage, stretching that fascial tissue. Feel free to ride that breath since it's the morning time. We're just now waking things up, inhaling a little bit taller, that buoyancy in the lungs. Exhale a little bit deeper in the stretch. Inhale this next time, we can come to center, floating both arms up. Exhale will counter, now falling over. Oh, this side's real tight. I can't bend. So now I've got my left hand as a kickstand, and this is all I've got, people. I'm gonna have to stretch this a little bit more today. So let's go ahead. Inhale, exhale. If you can, go deeper. And you're stretching over if possible. Inhaling nice and tall. We can come back to center. Maybe we're reaching with those fingers, opening and closing our hands, waking up those fists. We can go ahead and start to make circles with those fists as we lower our hands down. Once they get to our shoulders, we can reverse direction. Here we are. Once your hands are at your side or in your lap, we can sit nice and tall for these seated twists. I'm going to keep my legs here crisscross. Do whatever's comfortable for you. Find what works. But I'm going to inhale tall, ribs coming out of that waistline. As I exhale, I'll slowly just hinge to the right, using maybe my right hand as that kickstand once again behind my glute. Maybe the left hand is gently holding my knee, guiding myself. As I inhale, I sit taller, nice and tall through the crown. Exhale, I can twist a little bit deeper, possibly. This is morning time, so take it easy. Maybe you start with that lower lumbar, and then the next exhale, move to the thoracic cavity, working to that final deep, full expression. Maybe you're gazing over your right shoulder. And on your next inhale, we can slowly come back to center. As we exhale, we're going to counter, getting that balance. Now my left hand is a kickstand. As I exhale, I just slowly twist, staying with those 4-count breaths. Let's focus on that breath count. Inhale nice and tall when you're ready. And once you're ready to exhale, maybe you're twisting a little bit deeper, maybe that thoracic, maybe that cervical spine. Maybe you're gazing now over that left shoulder. And on the next inhale, we can come back to center. We'll go ahead and get in that tabletop, start to work things out in that prone position. So find your favorite hip if you like. I'm gonna swing my feet around, start to stack bones. My hands are under my shoulders. My knees are under my hips. If you have any discomfort in your knees, by all means, grab a blanket or pillow. If you have any carpal tunnel or issues with your wrists, you can always make fists or grab barbells, or you can feel free to get into a child's pose, whatever you like. But we're sitting nice, or we're feeling nice and strong. We're pressing down through those hands. Our feet, our fingers are spread. We're pressing down through the tops of the legs and our shins and the tops of our feet. Shoulder blades are close together. Back is flat. Core is engaged. Take a nice big breath here. Expanding that belly, feeling those ribs open up. And as you exhale, feel those back ribs start to collapse. And that's okay because we're nice and strong. And on that next inhale, we'll start to lift our head and tail, dropping that belly for the first cow of the day, making sure those shoulder blades are still close together, your jaw is relaxed, face is relaxed. And as we exhale, we can dip that head and tail, lifting the belly button into our first cat of the day, pressing down with the hands maybe forward, slowly just rounding that spine as we inhale. We come back to cow, riding this breath. If you feel any pain or discomfort in your lower lumbar, maybe we've gone too far, we'll start to exhale, rounding that back once again, finding cat. We'll do one more round here. Inhale, finding ourselves in cow. You can always tuck that tailbone slightly. That kind of takes a little of that pressure off the lower lumbar. Exhale, we come into cat. As we inhale, we'll find a nice neutral spine. We can bring the hands to the top of the mat. Exhale, we'll slowly lower down for our round of cobras. Here we are, we're laying on our belly. We're going to press down with our pelvic triangle, this midsection. Our legs are relaxed. Our hands are under our shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. And on an inhale, we're going to press down with that pelvic triangle, which will lift our head and maybe the tops of our shoulders up. Maybe we can remove our hands, maybe not. And as we exhale, we'll slowly lower down. As we inhale a second time, we press down with that pelvic triangle. Maybe the head and shoulders come up, maybe a rib comes up as well. Hands stay for stabilization. We can exhale and find the mat with our favorite cheek or the chin. And then on the third and final, we inhale, pressing down with that pelvic triangle to a fullest expression. This is an amazing stretch. This is why we do it every single class. It really opens up the chest. We can exhale and slowly lower down. It's wonderful for text neck. It's wonderful for hunching and driving and office work. So that's why we do it pretty much every time. It's great. Here we are. We can take a bend in our knees, windshield wiper our legs side to side. You know, just like we brush our teeth every day, you know, we comb our hair every day. Sometimes we got to do Cobra every day. You know, I don't make the rules. And when you're ready, the feet can find the mat. We can root down and press down through our hands. Elbows stay close to our body. We'll press through tabletop into our child's pose. We can scan the body, the big toes close together, the knees can be close or far apart. Whatever's comfortable, your brow can be on the mat, maybe on a pillow, folded blanket. Hands can be outstretched. If there's any pressure on your shoulders, they can be by your side. We're just letting our hips sink down to our heels, feeling grounded, feeling relaxed, taking a minute, quick little pause while we're waking things up, scan the body. Stay with those long breaths. Here we go. We're going to get some movement going here on tabletop. We're going to inhale, pressing through our fingers into tabletop. Once here, we're going to do some dynamic little stretching. So pressing down with those hand locks, feeling nice and strong. Make sure your shoulder blades are close together. We're not rounding at the spine. Our core is engaged. Once that's the case, we're going to go ahead and starting with our right leg. We're going to, on an inhale, we're going to extend that right leg out. And on the exhale, we're going to bring that right knee to our right elbow. If this is not in your practice, that's okay. You can always just lower it down to the mat. As we inhale, we're going to extend that leg back out. There's one. We'll do 3 on each side. As we exhale, right knee comes to right elbow. Inhale, stretch it out. These are nice, slow, dynamic stretches. As we exhale, right knee comes to right elbow or finds the mat. And as we inhale, it goes out extended. As we exhale, we can lower that right knee to the mat. So that was 3. Do the other side. Inhale, that left foot goes out to the back of the mat, extending, pressing through the heel. Exhale, left knee now comes to left elbow. Maybe it goes to the mat. As we inhale, we stretch that left leg back out, heel to that imaginary back wall. Exhale, we bring it back in, nice and slow on that 4 count, feeling strong in this tabletop. Inhale, we bring that leg back out, getting ready for the 3rd one. This is a great strengthening stretch here. Exhale, that left knee comes to left elbow. Inhale, foot goes out, back. Exhale, that left leg can now find the mat. We can go ahead and exhale back into child's pose. Take just a moment. So what we just did there is we just worked our legs, we worked our core, we worked our shoulders and back, our hands, That is a wonderful example of how just some dynamic stretching can be great all around. It's a full body workout if you like it to be. We're just going to take one more moment, maybe one more round of breaths before we get into our first down dog of the day. So we're feeling nice and strong, getting our heart rate in line to where we want it to be. This is your practice. Keep it your practice. And when you're ready on the next inhale, we can press through those fingers. Maybe we tuck those toes, finding our way into tabletop. Those knees can come off the mat maybe an inch or two. As we exhale, the hips go high. We can walk the dog, pedaling these heels out. Maybe they slowly get closer to the mat with each pedal, maybe not. If you're feeling a tightness in your hamstrings, you can keep a bend in your knees. We're pressing through the fingers, not the palms. Maybe as we go, the hips go higher. And we start to find that pose. If there's any pain or discomfort, you can find child's pose, puppy pose. We'll be at mountain here shortly. But we're just going to stand here in this pose for just a moment, feeling nice and strong and grounded. Maybe that maybe that head hangs down. Just thankful for the morning, thankful for the practice. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we can lift those heels. On your next exhale, we can bend the knees, slowly walk the feet to the middle of the mat, maybe walk our hands to the feet. We can walk our hands up our legs if we like, finding our half lift. So our feet are roughly hip width apart. We've got a slight bend in the knees. Our back is nice and flat, shoulder blades close together. Our tummy and engaged, so we're feeling strong in the lower back. We're feeling strong in our core. Maybe you've got your hands on your thighs for assistance. That's great. You can hold a wall, a prop. Let's just stay here for another round of breath. Gaze is down. This is great for your core, for your transverse abdominals, those inner abdominals. And as we exhale, we can take a bigger bend in those knees, letting the torso rest on your thighs. You can let your head hang down low if you like. That's in your practice. Otherwise, find a mountain. We'll be right there. We're just taking a minute to open up that upper back, maybe the neck. Let those vertebrae get some space. Let some of this energy flow to there. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we can root down. You can stop at your half lift, pause if you like. Otherwise, you can root all the way up, taking that bend out of your knees, reaching through those fingers. Oh, feeling nice and tall, nice and spacious in your lungs. Hopefully, you're starting to feel energized, feeling more spacious, and able to move. So here we go. We're going to start in a typical mountain, feet hip width apart. I'm going to rock a little bit so I can find what's comfortable. Toes are spread. My knees aren't locked. My tailbone is tucked. Core is engaged. Shoulders looped up, back, and down. Ears are over my shoulders, so I'm not projecting forward. Palms are shining forward so that my shoulder blades are together. My chest is open. And here we are in mountain pose, feeling nice and engaged at about 20%. So for your legs, you can be pushing down and out. That'll engage the thighs really well. For your upper body, if you're bringing those shoulder blades together, if you're trying to think wide in the shoulders, for me, that creates that space. And I really start to lose my breath, believe it or not, just standing, if that's what we want. So on an inhale, we'll float those arms up, nice and slow. As we exhale, we'll float that right hand down, doing a quick little side stretch as we stand. Inhale, we'll float that right hand up. Exhale, we'll counter. I'm trying to work this side, this side out. It's not working. We'll get there. Inhale, we're going to bring this up. Exhale, we can bring those arms down. And what we'll do is we'll start with some squats, some God squats today. So we can take our right leg out to the right a little bit, left leg to the left. We can heel toe them, whatever is comfortable. In this case, I'm finding a nice balance. Your toes will be pointed out, your heels will be in. And so think about those imaginary panes of glass in front of you and behind you. We're going to try to get on one plane, so I'm tucking my tailbone so I'm not sticking my rear end out. Inhale, tall through that spine. We want to stay nice and tall, relaxed in those shoulders, relaxed in the face. And as we exhale, we just slowly lower down as low as you would like to go. If you want to make this a dynamic stretch, you can always pulse. You can always just go up and down in repetition. You can go side to side as slow as you like. You can ride your breath. This is your practice. Learn your body. Your body's not the same as mine. So what feels good for me may not feel good for you, and vice versa. Or what I need to work on, vice versa. So let's just take about a minute more, maybe now, let's take about another 20 seconds, and we'll stay in this goddess pose squat. Your arms can be in gratitude, cactus. It can be an eagle if you remember, where you have one on top of the other and the palms together, or the back of the hands. As we inhale, we'll come out of this. We'll go ahead and heel to point our toes out diagonally, so it's not so parallel with the mat. We're gonna do a 5-pointed star, reaching down with those feet. Inhale, reaching with those arms either out or in a diagonal, whichever feels better for your shoulders. Maybe you're out this time. Tailbone is still tucked, reaching with that crown, feeling strong. As we exhale, those hands can come down. Maybe we find gratitude with those arms. Inhaling one more time here, nice and tall. Exhale, we're gonna get back to that goddess squat. We're gonna do a few rounds of these. So whatever you did last time, you can change it up if you like. Maybe you bring your left heel off the mat. See what that's like. You can pulse while that heel's off the mat. Maybe you lower that left heel down and bring that right heel up. Again, just see what that's like. How does that feel with your calf now? You know, how's that change your hip? These are just nice little things you learn about your body. Keeping that tailbone tucked. Maybe you lower that heel down. We don't have to pulse anymore. And on an exhale, or an inhale, we'll take that bend out of our knees. We'll get back to that 5-pointed star. So feel free to shuffle your feet around. Toes are pointed out slightly at a diagonal. We're pressing down to those feet. On an inhale, we'll float those arms out, either out or diagonal. In this case, I'm going to do out today. Tailbone is tucked. We're reaching through the crown, make sure we're not projecting so those ears are over the shoulders. Shoulder blades are close together. And on the next exhale, we can release. Let's go ahead and do a third and final goddess squat. So here we are inhaling. Next inhale is nice and tall in the spine. When you exhale, we can sink down into that goddess squat. Again, tailbone is tucked. So we've got that imaginary pane of glass in front of us and behind us. And maybe this time you're just sinking down into a very static, comfortable, yet slightly uneasy posture. So my thighs are engaged, my hamstrings are engaged, my knees are coming out, really opening up these hips. I'm gonna stay here for just another round or two of breaths. Thank you so much for joining today. And whenever you're ready, this is your practice. This is the next inhale. When you're prepared, we can take that bend out of our knees, and you guessed it, one more 5-pointed star. So feel free to shuffle your feet. Toes are diagonal. Inhale, our arms can come out to the side or up diagonally. Tailbone still, you guessed it, it's tucked. Reaching through the crown, not projecting forward so those ears are over our shoulders. And as we exhale, we can release those hands. But we're going to kind of keep the legs here. Make sure your knees are not locked. There can be a slight bend in them. We're going to do a little stretching. Take your time. Inhaling, we feel nice and strong. We're strong in this base. That's the goal. Let's get our feet to where they're feeling very secure with a nice wide stance. As we exhale, we can start to hinge at the hips. Use your hands on your thighs for guidance. Feel free to have a chair or wall prop for assistance. There's a chicken bone. There's a chicken bone right there. All right. As we get as we get to this point, we can bring our hands to a block or the mat. We're gonna get a nice stretch here, so we can heel toe our feet so that the toes are now pointed in, the heels are pointed out. We're hinged at the hips. We're not feeling any discomfort in our back. If so, let's go ahead and lift out of this. The goal is to stretch the hips. Feel free to have that block, a shoe, a water bottle, whatever you like. You can use a water bottle if you like. We'll put our right hand down on the mat. On an inhale, we can take that left hand, slowly float it out and then up, twisting the spine. You're going to feel a nice deep stretch here in the right inner knee. Don't go too far. It's going to be your IT band. It's for runners. This is an amazing stretch. You stay here as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, on an exhale, we'll come out of this. Just slowly bring our hand down. As we inhale, we can bring that left arm now, right arm out and up, getting that nice stretch, twisting that spine, stretching these abdominals, these obliques. And once again, whenever you're ready, we can exhale and come out of that. This is your practice. Do whatever feels good. I'm going to remove my block, prop, in this case, water bottle. Keep the chicken bone right there where it is. And on an inhale, I can rock my hands up my thighs, slowly getting out of this, maybe holding onto a chair. Once we're here, we can heel toe our feet together. Feel free to shake it out. We'll go ahead and start to come down the way we came up. I'm going to go to a half lift, forward fold, and we'll be back down on the mat. So on an inhale, those arms can float out and up, overhead, reaching. On an exhale, I'm going to float them to my side. Maybe they're in gratitude, hinging at the hips, slightly bending the knees. I'm going to stop at this half lift. Straighten the back, shoulder blades together. I'm going to let that lower lumbar breathe by tucking my tailbone just slightly, opening that up, but not rounding the spine. Feeling strong, pushing down through those feet. A little short of breath, core is definitely engaged. And when you're ready, on an exhale, you can come to the mat. In this case, I'm going to bend my knees more, do a forward fold, hang my head, and ragdoll. Maybe your hands are on your elbows, swaying side to side. Stay here for as long as you like. Just relaxed, letting the space in between your vertebrae grow. And when you're ready, we can bring our hands to the mat, maybe walk those hands to the top of the mat, slowly walking our feet to the bottom, lowering down one knee at a time. Once we're here in tabletop, we're just going to go straight through this into Sphinx. So we'll lower down on our belly, grab a blanket or pillow for your pelvic triangle or midsection if you like. The elbows are going to be under those shoulders. Forearms and palms are going to be on the mat. This too is a wonderful chest opener. That's kind of why we do this almost every practice. But your shoulder blades are close together. You're tall in the spine. If you're feeling any pain, I think we're going a little too far in the pose, maybe back out a little bit. Maybe tuck your tailbone slightly. That can alleviate a little pressure towards your heels. Tuck it towards your heels. We'll stay here for just another long, full breath. And as we exhale, we can lower down to the mat, finding the mat with our favorite cheek. Take a bend in our knees. Maybe we sway our legs, windshield wiper them side to side. Once you're ready, we can bring the feet to the mat, curl the toes. We'll press down with those hands, lifting into tabletop. We'll do a quick little puppy stretch, threading the needle. Here we are on tabletop. We'll start on, I'll start with my left side just so I can face you. feeling nice and strong in this tabletop. Let's take a moment so we have good form. Core is engaged. Everything is where it should be. Shoulder blades together. Back is nice and flat. Your neck is nice and strong. Gaze is down. Chin is relaxed. On an inhale, we'll take that left hand, float it out and up. What's going on? Here we are getting that nice twist again, like we just had. This time we're going to thread it through, though. We're going to exhale, countering that stretch. We can bring our cheek to the mat, our left cheek, maybe that right hand extends out long. So now our left palm is shining to the ceiling or the sky. We're nice and engaged in the core. And we're opening up that left back rib section or upper left back. Let's make sure we stay with those long breaths. If we've lost them, that's okay. We can pick them right back up. Let's get that mindful movement paired with that mindful breath, connecting our brain with our body. Then when you're ready, we can bring that right hand back to our body. And on an inhale, we can press up through that right palm, floating that left arm back out and up, giving it one more of that stretch. As we exhale, we can bring that left hand to the mat. When we inhale, we'll do the same thing down the opposite side, inhaling that right arm out and up, twist that we were in as we were standing, and getting into that wonderful counter. Exhale, we bring that arm through, thread the needle. Now that left palm is shining high, left cheek can be on the mat, and our right arm can be extended. We're just getting a great stretch in that upper right back. Make sure our core is still engaged. Not feeling any discomfort in our knees. I got this nice soft grass under me. It's pretty convenient. We'll stay here for another round of breaths. What's up, y'all? And when you're ready, we can bring our left hand to our shoulder. On an inhale, we'll press through that left palm, or left hand, I should say, not palm ever. We'll float that right hand out and up. And on an exhale, we can bring that right hand to the mat. Our gaze is underneath this. That's where we're going to find a nice, easy seat. For some bound angle or Baddha Konasana, we do this quite often as well in the morning times. It's a great hip opener, great dynamic, flapping these butterfly wings. So here we are, our palms of our feet are together. We're sitting nice and tall. Sits bones are grounded. We're tall in the spine, making sure that our shoulders are back, up, back, and down. With this, I'm going to start flapping my butterfly wings nice and gently. It's a dynamic stretch. We're bringing movement into these stretches. This is great for the morning time, kind of wake things up. All that soft tissue has been laying there dormant for hours. This is also a great pose, not flapping, just the butterfly for what they call yin yoga. We do that late in the evenings. Feel free to join me for some wind downs. Not so much yoga, but it's more just chilling out, stretching with some meditation. But the butterfly is great yin pose, which is a great restorative pose and calming. So on an inhale, let's say now we'll sit nice and tall. On the exhale, as we flap our wings, if you like, you can hinge forward slightly. Since we didn't get any warriors, we can do these. Although with the goddess squats, I'm sure we open those hips. Sometimes I rock back and forth slightly. I find my way being able to get into a little deeper stretch. Make sure you're not rounding your back. You know, I'm hinging at the hips, making sure. So this is what I look like. You know, try not to, you're not going to try to crouch like that. And when you're ready, we can send our legs out long. If you want to do a quick little posterior stretch, we can sit nice and tall, flat in the back. Sits bones are grounded. Maybe your knees are bent slightly. Hamstrings could be a little tight. Lower back could be a little tight. As we inhale tall, exhale, we can hinge forward. Those feet can be flexed. But again, nice and tall through the spine. We're giving our core a great workout. We're giving our hips and lower back a great stretch. Don't let gravity hurt your body. We'll let our muscles support it. All right. And as an inhale, as we inhale, we can sit up. Maybe find our way on our back. This time I'll go ahead and just hold the back of my thighs, slowly lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Once we're here, we can hug these knees in for a moment. Maybe this time you hug them into your lower back, bringing that lower back flat against the mat. And we can send those feet directly where they are. We can just anchor them right down for our bridge. Feel free to do a wheel if that's in your practice, but our feet are right there by our tailbone, close to our body. Our our arms can be by our side, palms up or down. On an inhale, we're going to press down with those feet in dynamic fashion. Those hips go up, but on the exhale, we'll lower them down. We're going to ride these breaths. We'll do 5 breaths here. Inhale, we'll send those hips up by pressing down and maybe forward with our feet slightly. Notice when you press forward with the feet, we can exhale, lower down. But notice when you press forward with the feet, how your body weight shifts slightly. If there's any discomfort there, inhale, lift. Be mindful of that. Maybe lift, pushing down and pushing forward. Exhale, we lower down. This fourth one, we can maybe go a little bit higher. We'll press down, lifting, maybe feeling the stretch in the belly. Exhale, we can lower down. Our fifth and final one, we'll go to our fullest expression, pressing down with those feet, sending the hips nice and high. Maybe those knees are closer together, around hip width distance apart. As we exhale, we can lower those hips down. Once again, maybe hugging the knees in, maybe rocking side to side, just a little counter stretch, giving that lumbar and lower back a little break. When you're ready, we can do our inversion. I'm going to send my feet up into waterfall. Here we are, just letting the blood flow from our feet and legs down into our chest and our heart space. That's all we're doing. We're not stretching. We're not lifting. We're not tensing. So be nice and relaxed. Just, if possible, the feet above our heart. Maybe you're a happy baby, holding the outside of your feet shining to the ceiling or sky. Maybe you're pulling your knees closer to the mat, pulling your hips closer to the mat. Maybe you're in a half shoulder stand. You can take your knees, rocking them over your gaze, and then further rocking them up, and so that your hands catch your glutes. Here again, we're nice and relaxed. We're just letting that blood flow down into our heart space. Legs up a wall, try different variations. You have options. We'll stay here for just another breath or two. Kind of winding down the practice. Hopefully things are starting to feel engaged and spacious and energized. Hopefully you're ready to attack the day, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. When you're ready, we can go ahead and bring these legs down. Maybe we sway the knees. Maybe you hug them in. Do whatever you like. We'll go ahead and send the feet out long for just a moment. We can let go of that 4 count. Inhale, exhale, deep, long breaths. We can just find our natural breath. Take a moment lying on our back. Legs are relaxed, feet at the end of the mat. Maybe the hands are by your side, palms up. Chest is open. And maybe just taking a moment, just being thankful. Thankful for the last 45 minutes. For me, thankful for the last 42 years. There are a lot of things we could be doing right now. Here we are on the mat, just spending some time with our body, loving our muscles and our bones, maybe loving our thoughts, just loving ourselves. And that feels good. So let's pause for just a moment. Let's just remember that. It's not always go, go, go. When you're ready, we can slowly bring awareness back to our appendages, maybe wiggling our toes, wiggling those fingers, just being thankful, taking this attitude out into our life, to others. When you're ready, we can maybe walk the feet to our body. Once again, doing whatever feels right, work out any poses that maybe we missed or that you like to do. I'm going to take a moment, just slowly rock my way back up into my easy seat. Once here, grounding down with the sits bones, sitting nice and tall. On an inhale, I'll go ahead and float these arms up, find my hands in gratitude. As I exhale, they can find my heart space. The light in me loves, honors, and adores the light in you. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. Thank you for taking this journey for yourself. I really appreciate you. If you think you know of anybody that might benefit from these little morning wake ups, by all means, pass this along. If anybody you think would like to start a yoga practice, by all means, pass that along. I would love to hear about their journey or maybe share my own. Thank you so much for all that you do. Continue riding that wave. Love you so much. Namaste. Adios, amigos. Whoop, it's not wet. Yo, I wasn't even playing. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you. It's a chicken bone. I wasn't even playing. It's a chicken bone.